The news in detail. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Wednesday delivered Egypt's speech at the BRICS summit currently held in Kazan city in Russia, during which he outlined Egypt's stances regarding ongoing crises hitting the Middle East region and its efforts to calm the situation, in addition to its significant progress in its economic reform. The three-day summit witnesses Egypt's participation as an active member of the BRICS group since its official admission to the group at the beginning of 2024. Details follow.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi participated in the BRICS summit in Kazan city in Russia. In his address before the expanded second session of the summit, President al-Sisi outlined Egypt's stances regarding ongoing crisis hitting the Middle East region and its efforts to calm the situation, in addition to its vision over a number of other international issues. The head of state called on BRICS members to trade in their national currencies in order to alleviate the rising costs of using foreign currencies as a result of the high global inflation. President al-Sisi said current successive international crises showed that world system cannot deal probably with those crises. He said Egypt has a big faith in the significance of enhancing the international multi-system, including the United Nations being a key cornerstone to preserve peace, stability and development. Meanwhile, President al-Sisi will participate in the BRICS Plus Summit, which will comprise, along with the BRICS members, a number of friendly countries and international institutions. Addressing the summit, Russian President Vladimir Putin said volatility of key commodities prices in global markets is high. Putin also said grain exchange may transform into a fully fledged exchange for goods. Chinese Xi Jinping, India's Narendra Modi, Brazilian President Lula da Silva, the Iranian President, the South African President and some other BRICS leaders addressed the summit. Earlier on the sidelines of the summit, President al-Sisi held talks with his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin. During their encounter, the president hailed Russian support for Egypt's economic projects, saying that Egyptian-Russian ties had witnessed a remarkable development in recent years. For his part, the Russian leader called Egypt a long-term and reliable partner of Russia, adding that Egypt accounts for about a third of all trade turnover between Russia and Africa.
Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Dr. Ahmed Moustafa, international relations expert. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you?
Well, Dr. Moustafa, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Wednesday have delivered Egypt's speech at the BRICS summit. How did you follow the speech by the President?
I think the speech really covered all the points that were supposed to be covered by His Excellency, and it was really an amazing speech because he already talked and covered all the possible topics concerning, the new world order and the need of the world in this time being to have a new world order instead of this current world order that it doesn't save even the resources and the finance and even the security and cannot achieve the sustainable development goals in this time being. Therefore, the new world order will be achieved with the new or the global south that represented in BRICS, and the assembly of at least 20 presidents from around the world in Kazan, just a big message to the whole world, especially the West, that yes, we are in need for having such a new world order to be more equitable for us as Global South. Also, he covered a lot of things in this regard concerning, the financial systems and the need for a new financial system globally instead of this current financial system, because according to the current order, also the interest rate and the indebtedness of the poor and developing countries are increasing, and according to the current catastrophe that's already made by the West, they cannot pay off even their indebtedness. As well as the sustainable development, of course, the digital gap, which is a very good point from his side, and the knowledge gap. And in this regard, I've already tackled since 2017 and before anyone, the current need of having our own maybe search engines or servers or whatsoever that will protect intellectual property, that will having like strengthening ourselves in the field of the media, because even though the New World Order is achieving victory in the fields, whether here in the Middle East, in Ukraine, and in the South China Sea, but in media we are defeated because it's still the search engines and digitizations and things like that, and servers already controlled more by the West, despite we have China and Russia, Iran, Egypt, Pakistan, Asians, those kind of countries, they have like a good potential of having, you know, like a good media if they have some sort of unity together. And this is exactly what we really need in this regard.
Yes, so Dr. Moustafa, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi during his speech said that Egypt is speaking on the behalf of the African countries and also the Arab countries, developing countries. How do you see the importance of this?
Yeah, because he is true in his words. Because indeed, if we talk about the relationship between Egypt and Russia, we are the biggest country, and Russia is the president of the current, you know, BRICS summit or session. Egypt already getting the greater part of the Russian investing or investments in Africa, and getting like the lion's share in this regard. It's about 60% in that respect. Also, you know that Egypt is also qualified because we have the right infrastructure, we have the digital and the media infrastructure, and we already having a lot of potentialities. And according to the latest figures, Egypt is one of the best potential countries, and will have and achieve like a greater developmental, you know, rates and growth rates via 2030. This is why Egypt can, you know, alleging or saying that we are representative of the whole Africa. And also we have a good relations with all the African countries, and Egypt, as you know, according to the history in the African continent, we already achieved a lot since the revolution of 1952 via the leader and the President Jamal Abdel Nasser, that has impact, you know, extended so far all over the African countries, whether in knowledge and education, in having the right soft power, the radio, the unions, things like that. Therefore, yes, if we talk about the civilizational and the cultural, you know, rule of Egypt, yes, it is #1 in Africa.
Yes, so Dr. Moustafa, also during his speech, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have outlined Egypt's stances regarding the ongoing crises hitting the Middle East region and Egypt's role and efforts to calm the situation, in addition also to pushing forward with Egypt as a mediator, pushing forward for a ceasefire to calm the region.
Indeed, because if we remember from day one, because Tufan al-Aqsa happened the 7th of October, a year before, from day 8 we start to have like our own diplomatic mission that trying to convince the Western parties, despite, you know, the Western is biased most of the time towards Israel and supporting them, and is a main party in the killing of the innocent people in whether Palestine and Lebanon, that you know, this is the right for the Palestinians just to have their own state. Yes. And you were delayed in this regard. Therefore, yes, if you give them their own rights, even according to the, you know, the conclusions of the Arab Summit in Beirut 2002, yes, I think it, yes, will be the right issue for them, just
Yes.
to cease the fire and just to stop any escalations in the region.
The escalation in the Middle East. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Mr. Ahmed Moustafa, international relations expert. Now we go to a live broadcasting as we introduce